Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today I am sharing with you my diary entry for the week of September 11th through 17th. Today is Saturday, September 17th. My mom picked me up a pumpkin spice latte, I think, from the Barnes & Noble cafe. She worked today, and so, yeah, got me some caffeine. That's actually my second pumpkin spice drink this season. She brought me a Frappuccino a couple weeks ago. So, yeah, it's pretty good. That one is fully loaded, so it's completely caffeinated. The other one she got me was decaf. I'm finding that I'm having to limit the amount of caffeine that I intake, so one caffeinated beverage a day for me is my limit. So that's going to be my caffeinated drink for today. Today I have some reading to share with you. I have some knitting to share with you. And I have a little bit of TV watching, and I have a surprise gift to share with you. So let's get into it. So as you can see from the thumbnail, I did complete quite a bit of things this week. We'll start off with the entire series of BL Metamorphosis. So BL Metamorphosis is a 5-volume manga series by Kaori Tsurutani. This one's published by 7 Seas and rated teen. So I'll show you the covers because they're so adorable. We've got volume 1 here, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, and volume 5. So you can probably tell from the cover that this story follows an elderly woman and a younger teen girl. She's in high school, and they form a friendship over boys love manga. So I had this title come up. I believe it was on either my manga advent calendar for Christmas last year, which if you haven't seen my manga advent calendar, I'll link it down in the description box below, the explanation as to what I was doing. And I think I'm going to do that again this year. It was really fun. And so this was either part of that or it was part of my priority reads list for this year, but I have a feeling that it was the manga advent calendar. So since this is a 5-volume series, I decided to go ahead and read the whole thing. I just needed something different this week, and for whatever reason, this story was calling my name. I had put reading this series off for a long time because we are dealing with an elderly woman and forming this great friendship with a younger girl, and I was afraid. I don't know if this is going to be spoilery to you or not, but I was afraid the older woman was going to pass away by the end of the series, and I am not a person that enjoys reading or watching emotional things that make me emotional, sad stories. I also don't read a lot of contemporary work, and this is very much contemporary. It just follows them bonding over this one kind of series to start with, and then the younger girl kind of widens our elderly characters' world of boys love manga and things like Comic Cat or doujinshi shows, and it was just such a heartwarming story. And I had heard a lot of great things about it, but I was just like, nope, not going to read it because I feel like we're going to lose our elderly character at the end. I had put myself in a position where I was okay in reading a story like that because I really have to be in a certain mind frame to read stories like that. And so I felt like I was ready to read this week. And I will tell you that what I thought was going to happen did not happen. So that made me super happy. This story was just so heartwarming. There is actually a manga in a manga. So we've got this manga, right, following our elderly woman and our teen girl. And then we also see the manga that they bond with in the beginning, little pages from that manga, so we can see what they're like wanting to talk to each other about and following this male couple. And it was just so cute. I really, really enjoyed this. Now, the art style is definitely not the typical type of art that I normally go for, but it worked really well with this story. I really enjoyed seeing the different facial expressions and how, this friendship changed both of these women's lives. And so, yes, really, really love the series. I did give it 5 stars. I gave all of the volumes 5 stars. There is one little thing that bothers me with this story, and it comes from the girl's family. The girl is in high school. She is not really inspired by school, and her parents are divorced. So she spends time... It doesn't really give you when, but there are days that she spends with her dad. She lives with her mom. So that's a situation that I am very familiar with because my parents also divorced. They divorced pretty early in my life. And so I would spend time with my dad on the weekend. And so I could relate to that. I could also, unfortunately, relate to the fact that her father doesn't encourage her in her interests. Doesn't encourage her to things that she is interested in. He's only concerned with her schooling and why isn't she going to cram school and your grades need to be better. And that is something that was so personal to me. Something I related to in my life, something that brings back bad memories for me. But it's very, very Japanese. So I can understand why that whole thing is being portrayed, but it just brought up some bad memories for me. Every time her father would sit her down and talk about her grades or things like that, it brought me back to those times where my dad was grilling into me and didn't understand that, even though I may not have been good in certain subjects, I did excel in others, and I was good at other things not educational, I guess. I wouldn't say educational, but not academic. I was much more of a musician. That is what, inspired me. And it's manga. And it takes such a toll on our character that she kind of, to me, gets self-deprecating, and I didn't enjoy that part. I still gave all of the volumes 5 stars. We don't see the dad a lot. In fact, we see him maybe once a volume. There's a scene or two, but those scenes, because I've gone through personal situations where things like that have happened to me, and I've told you before that my dad and I kind of have a strange relationship. We had a really rocky relationship when I was growing up, and it's much better now that I'm an adult and I'm able to voice my opinions on things and put my parameters where I need them to be, whereas when I was younger I didn't have the ability to do that. I didn't feel like I could do that, but now that I can tell him, hey, that's not okay with me, I'm not comfortable with that, and not feel scared to do it, but our character here is still not able to do that. So it really brought me back to those times where I was just about this age, younger, than this age, but same things are happening to me. So, yeah. I really loved the friendship, though, between our younger character and our older character, and how the relationship changed both of their lives, made them, like, look at other things in their lives and do other things, and, you know, kind of change the trajectory of their lives. So I really love this story. I really, really recommend it. And yes, 5 stars. I definitely think everybody should read this story because it is just so heartwarming. And yes, it's definitely one that's going to stay with me for a while. And even with my hang-ups on her relationship with her dad, I think this is going to be a story that I revisit, because there's just so many things in here that are, like I said, heartwarming. They're very cute, and I do think that on a reread, I'm probably going to catch lots more things that I didn't catch in a first read through, because that's just how it is on rereads. And I think this story is definitely one that I will continue to enjoy and think about for a long time. So I really, really enjoyed that. I'm glad I took the time to pick this up when I felt ready to do it, because this one has been on my shelf for a while and I've just been too scared to read it for the reasons I told you. But I'm glad that I read it, and definitely, definitely recommend. So the other thing that I finished this week was Tokyo Dreaming by Emiko Jean. So this is the second book in the Tokyo Ever After series. Tokyo Ever After is a retelling of the Princess Diaries, where our main character finds out that her father is the Crown Prince of Japan. I can't tell you what this book is about. I think what I can say is that this book follows where we left off from Tokyo Ever After, where we're still dealing with how the public is viewing our main character, Izumi, and, you know, finding out that the Crown Prince had this illegitimate child, finding out about Izumi's mom, and how things Izumi does is viewed by society. And I think that's all I can tell you. There's another whole part to this story, which is the part that disappointed me, that I can't even tell you because it would be a super spoiler, and yeah. I did not enjoy this as much as I enjoyed the first one. And like I said, I can't say why, because it would be a super spoiler. I did enjoy it, though. I listened to this one completely on audio. I used this to fulfill my prompt for the Season-a-thon Academy Communications 2200 class, which is to read an ebook or listen to an audiobook. So since I listened to this on audiobook, I'm counting it for that. I do recommend the audiobook. I just really enjoyed the narrator, and I'm really hoping that there is another installment in this series. I can tell you that something that happens in this book didn't make sense to me with what we were given before that thing happened, but I can't say anything more than that. I really, really loved this book until that thing happens. And then that thing, I wouldn't say ruined the book for me in its entirety, but it changed my perspective on this story. And I would have preferred it to go in a different direction. I'll just say that. So I do still recommend the series. I still enjoyed it. This is pretty much just like another, like, contemporary with a side of romance type story. Again, not usually my type of thing, but I really, really love Tokyo Ever After. And I'm also using this for my Bookopoly-a-thon prompt of read a favorite trope, because this is a story about a commoner finding out she's royalty. And that has been a trope that I enjoyed a few times in my life. I think I mentioned last week that I had read another book when I was younger that had a girl who finds out she's royalty. I did find it on my shelf. I do want to read it this month, so maybe I'll pick that up soon, because now that I've thought about it, I'm really itching to read it, and it will fit in with another readathon that I'm doing this month. So yes, I still enjoyed this one. I definitely recommend this series. Tokyo Ever After can be read as a standalone, I feel. In fact, I thought it was a standalone when it first came out. I had no idea that it was the first of a series until it showed up on Goodreads as Tokyo Ever After #1. So, yes, I kind of wish that I just left it where it was. This story, while I enjoyed it, there's something towards the end that just threw everything for me. So I still gave this 4 stars, but I enjoyed Tokyo Ever After better. And so, yes, 2 readathons done with this. And I also used BL Metamorphosis for Season-a-thon Academy to, I think I'm putting it in the read any book slot, or, which I think is English 1010, or to read a translated book, because this is originally Japanese, which is the foreign language 22 something or something like that. I don't think I've decided yet, but if I need it, I will fit it into one of those. I'm actually also using BL Metamorphosis to complete one of my Aurelium Magical Readathon prompts. I had mentioned before that I needed a little bit more time for that. This is the one that I chose for the one where I had to turn around and randomly point at a book on my bookshelf and read an adjacent book. So I had my daughter look at the stack of books that I had put on my shelf, because there were specific books that I knew I needed to get to soon, and I turned around and pointed behind me, and so she told me which one I had pointed at. I had actually put them all like this, so I didn't know. They had been there for a while because I had put them there in December, so I had no idea what was in the stack, because all I saw was this part, because this part was facing the back, so I really only saw the pages and this part, so I didn't know what was in the stack. I just knew that was a stack that I had from December. And so I turned around, I pointed, she put her finger where I had pointed, and then we picked the one that was on top and the one that was on the bottom. And this was the one that was on the bottom, BL Metamorphosis. The one that I had picked that was on the top was a novel. So I was like, I don't think I have time to read that. This, though, yes. So that worked out in my favor. So that's one more Aurelium prompt done. I believe I only have one left, and I'm actually working on that book right now. So I am currently reading The Son of Neptune. The second book in the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. I am 35% into this book. I'm on chapter 16. So this is a slow going one. I am finding it hard to keep my eyes open while I'm reading this one. I am very interested in what's going on. Much more interested than I was in The Lost Hero, because again, we are from Percy's perspective. But I don't know why I keep falling asleep when I read the book. So I always read before I go to bed. I think this week has just been really stressful for me as far as work goes, and I've been exhausted because it's been mentally straining. And so I think that's what it is. But I have only been able to read 1 or 2 chapters a night. So not a lot of progress there. I listened to Tokyo Dreaming during my lunch breaks. So, yeah, I am enjoying Son of Neptune though. So I'm hoping that this coming week I'll get more into Son of Neptune, because that book is over 500 pages long and I really need to get to that. So that's all I'm reading right now. Plan for today, the day that I'm filming this, through the next week. So that's the 19th or the 18th through the 24th, is to focus on Son of Neptune and read the Monochrome Manga Club selections, because Monochrome Manga Club meeting is on Thursday the 22nd. So yes, got to read those. And then I want to focus on Son of Neptune. Because I finished Tokyo Dreaming, I will need another audiobook to occupy my lunch breaks. But I haven't decided what I want to read yet, or what I want to listen to. And I don't think any of the other books that I have on my TBR for the month have audiobooks available. Like, they just weren't made. So, yeah, I'm going to have to pick something else. Not sure what that's going to be yet, but I'll definitely be picking up something new this week. So, let's get into some knitting. So yesterday, I was feeling very inspired to cast on a new project. I had no business casting on a new project. But this project has been one that I've been thinking about for a long time, and it's seasonal. So I thought, you know what? Since you're inspired to do it, you might as well do it, because you haven't been inspired with your knitting. And if you wait until you clear off some of your works in progress, who knows when your next strike of inspiration is going to come for this project. So I decided to go ahead and cast on a new project. So this bag I got from Stitching the High Notes, Joanna. You can see it is some ghosties and some jack-o'-lanterns. This is her sweater size bag. I really, really like Joanna's bags. I have not been watching knitting podcasts because I've been watching so much BookTube lately. I tried to watch some yesterday, and I did catch up with the Knitty Witch podcast and Martin over at the Knit 365 blog. I keep up with the Bakery Bears. They're the only one that I watch when they publish something, as soon as they publish something. And I am a patron of theirs. But other than that, I've been having a hard time finding time to watch knitting podcasts. And I'm really, really missing them. And it's coming to that time where Vlogtober is going to start. And then we're going to have Vlogmas. And I love knitting Vlogmases. It just makes my whole season. And so, yeah. But this year I've been really into BookTube. So anyway, tangent. But yeah, so while I was doing some knitting podcast watching yesterday, I decided to go ahead and work on this. And so you can't really see much because I didn't do much. So this is basically all I have right now. This is a neckline. So I cast on, I did my, oh, this is all screwed up. So I did my neckband, and then I just did a little bit, and there's some short row shaping back here. So I did some German short rows, and that's really all you can see. So this is actually going to be a colorwork sweater. This is going to be the ghosty sweater, I think. I'm working a pattern for Bad Wolf Girl Studios, or from, not for. This is in her Fall Favorites collection that she released last year. That collection has 4 different colorwork yokes in the pattern. And so basically you do the same instructions to get you started, and then you choose your color work chart. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Your color work chart, and then you work that chart, and then the rest of the sweater is all the same for all of the designs. So I did an alternating cable cast on and just worked the short rows, and now I am ready to put in my first row of color work. So yeah, that's all I have. This is going to be a short sleeve sweater because where I am currently, it doesn't get cold until after Thanksgiving. So because this is going to be ghosts, I do want to be able to wear it in the month that, you know, we normally think of ghosts. And so I am doing this in a superwash merino yarn. I'm actually doing it in the Lion Brand Collection Superwash Merino. So this is 100% superwash merino, 280 meters, 306 yards. This is a DK weight, and I really, really love this yarn. It's so affordable. Yeah, it's nice and squishy. I've used this before in my campside cardie in a green color. So this is the charcoal color. This is going to be the color that I use for the majority of the sweater. And then I have this ice. It's called ice. So I've got this color to use for some of the color work. And then I have this color. So you can see that they changed the packaging a little bit. So this is the new packaging. This color is called Sage. And then for the ghosts, I thought it might be fun to have some glow-in-the-dark yarn. So this is Gert's Glow House yarn. This is a fingering weight 100% polyester yarn. So I'm actually going to hold that double for the ghosts. So I think this is going to be cool. Now polyester yarn is probably not going to have any stretch, but I figure as long as I keep my tension okay, it should be fine. So yeah, I think this is going to be nice. I really was concerned with the amount of color difference between these two, but I think that should be okay. I do have some other options that I could use, but I kind of like that. So hopefully that'll work out okay. Hopefully I'll be able to keep my interest in this project this week and put in some ghosties. I figured these are good projects for me, color work yoke sweaters, because once I get through all of the, you know, color work where I actually have to pay attention to what I'm doing, it's just round and round and round and stockinette stitch. So that's really good for, you know, relaxation knitting and stuff. And because it's a sweater, there's a long time to be going round and round and round and not having to worry about stuff. So yeah, that is my ghosty one. I almost cast on my pumpkin sweater instead, but I'm hoping that I'll have the ghosts done, or at least the color work portion done, relatively soon, so that I can start the color work portion on the pumpkins, and then hopefully by the time I'm done with this, I can start on my pumpkins and be able to wear that for November. Those are lofty knitting plans for me. Like, I also have a Christmas sweater that I want to work on, another color work yoke sweater. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I really should have started these earlier this year, but, you know, my year has not been as good as I've hoped it was going to be. My inspiration just hasn't been there. I've been in a reading slump. I know it sounds like a lot of excuses, but I have really not knit as much as I've knitted in previous years this year. I don't know what happened. Like, I'm not like into like knit-alongs, and I'm not inspired, and so yeah, it's been kind of strange. But I felt that since I was feeling inspiration for this sweater, I should go ahead and bite the bullet. So that's what I did, even though I have 2 other sweaters on the needles and a couple pairs of socks. But they'll get there eventually, right? One of the sweaters I have on the needles is a mohair sweater, so I'm definitely not ready to pick that up yet. It's still definitely not cool enough to be working with mohair. But yeah, that's what I've knit on. As far as watching things has gone, we watched the Murders Before the Marathon documentary on Hulu. That was super interesting, and it also made me realize that quite a few things have happened on September 11th. So the Murders Before the Marathon also happened on September 11th in 2013? Was it 20? No, it's 2011. It was 2011. So that was September 11th, 2011. Then we had September 11th in 2001. There was also Hurricane Emiko, the hurricane that hit Kauai, and that was September 11th, 1992, I think. So, yeah, I didn't realize that Hurricane Emiko happened on September 11th. But, yeah, so that's 3 things that have happened on September 11th that I'm aware of right now. So that's kind of like one of those days that I'm just like, okay, we're staying home that day. It's like Friday the 13th for me, because I had something traumatic happen to me on a Friday the 13th, one that landed me in the hospital and needing surgery. So yeah, Friday the 13th, I try not to leave the house either, because just don't want to press my luck. But so we watched that. That was super interesting. We watched more episodes of Bleach. So we were trying to catch up with our Rita watch along. Still really, really enjoying that. We've been continuing watching Bodies in the Backyard. Still really finding those cases interesting. And then we also watched the entire season of Cobra Kai. So we watched season 5 of Cobra Kai. Really, really enjoyed that. Looking forward to the next season. I will have to say that I was rolling my eyes a little bit during season 5, but I'm really interested to see where season 5 is going to go, or season 6, I'm sorry. But I really, really enjoyed that show. And so, yes, that is everything that I have watched this week. And now we'll get to the little surprise present. So I got a package in the mail from my friend Amy at A-Star Reads. She had sent me something to celebrate my Booktubiversary, which is this month. It was at the beginning of the month. And my birthday, which is on Monday the 19th. By the time you're seeing this, it's going to be past my birthday. But she was kind enough to send me a package. Definitely check out Amy's channel if you haven't already. She does some really cool vlogs with her mom, which I really, really love. She was the inspiration for me to do my manga advent calendar, because she does an advent calendar project in the month of December. And so it's coming up on that time of year, like I said. So definitely check her out. I love her content. She's an amazing person. I'm so glad that I've become friends with her this year. But she sent me a present. And I told her I wasn't going to open it until right before I filmed this diary entry for you. And I am loving this. So she added to my Word Cloud Classics collection, and she sent me A Christmas Carol and Other Holiday Treasures by Charles Dickens in the Word Cloud Classics edition. I absolutely love this edition. It's like a flexi bound, I guess it's leather, and it's just got like little quotes and character names from the things inside. I have read A Christmas Carol. I have read it before, but I have never read any of these other stories. So I'm looking forward to exploring this holiday season. When I read Christmas Carol, I had listened to it, and I believe it was a full cast audio Or was it just Tim Curry? It might have just been Tim Curry, and the full cast audio that I listened to was Dracula. Both were really, really interesting. So I actually haven't read with my eyes the text, but The Muppets Christmas Carol is my absolute favorite holiday movie. I watch it every year on Christmas Eve, right before the clock turns to Christmas Day. So we started early enough on Christmas Eve in order for it so that when it ends, it's already Christmas Day. That's kind of our family tradition. And so, thank you so much, Amy. I am so happy to have this, and thank you so much for being an awesome friend and chatting with me and watching my videos. And I really, really have enjoyed getting to know you and watching you and your mom do all of your adventures and your vlogs this year. And I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much. I know she told me that there was another package coming, but it hasn't gotten here yet. So I will share that with you in the next Disis19 Diaries. But that's everything I have to share with you today. I have, like I said, had a stressful week. There were some issues with the phone for work that IT just wasn't listening, and it caused me a lot of stress. I was without a phone for 2.5 days. So, yeah. I think, like I said, that's why I think I've just been mentally exhausted and why I haven't been able to really get into Son of Neptune, even though I'm enjoying what I'm reading. So hopefully now the phone is fixed, everything will be good next week. Plus, I'm really hoping for a good week, being my birthday week. So that's everything I've got to share with you, and as far as my hopes for next week and everything that I've done this past week. Let me know down in the comments below what books you've read this week. If you DNF'd any books, I'd really love to know that as well. And if you've watched any cool TV shows or documentaries, let me know that, because I'm always on the lookout for some new TV shows and documentaries to watch. I will be starting the Vampire Diaries. Vampire Academy. I watched the Vampire Diaries. I didn't watch all of it. I watched, I think, 8 seasons or so. But it just got too teen drama for me. But I did enjoy the books that TV show was based on when I was growing up. When I was a kid. When I was growing up, I was more like, 12 or 13, I think, when I read them. I did really enjoy L.J. Smith's works when I was around that age. So, yeah, let me know. Will you be watching Vampire Academy as well? Have you watched anything fun and exciting? Have you watched Cobra Kai? Just let me know something that you've done this week and any books that you've read. I would really love to chat with you. If nothing else, you would just like to let me know that you were here. If you could leave me something princessy or flower-ish for Tokyo Dreaming, that would be greatly appreciated and would really help me out. And that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.